Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we are starting a brand new project. We're going to be renovating the boys' bedroom. Real quick history here, we moved in June. The original intention was to build bunk beds in the room and then that's it. Just leave everything else alone. 6 months later, and we haven't done a thing. We feel like terrible parents. But now we're finally jumping into this, and we realized, well, I'll let us talk about it, and you'll see what we decide. Okay, we have a big decision to make. Right now we have carpet. Do we want to keep the carpet, or do we want to rip it all up and expose the floor underneath? Because the floor that's underneath is the original. It wouldn't be that complicated if it was just still the original floor, but who knows who did it at one point. But they have painted the floor white. So that adds a layer of complication and sort of hassle that we're not sure we want to take. So we've been debating back and forth on what we should do. So what should we do?
We both really love the idea of having the original floor. Is it worth all of the work that it's going to take?
I thought it'd be helpful if we kind of talked about it on camera. I'd give you our thought process.
We could talk about what we do know for sure. That we know that the walls,
so
the trim, the ceiling, it's all got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's in rough shape.
It would be a good thing, but it's also a stressful thing because anytime you open it up, you get more problems usually. That's what we want to do, is take off the plaster and lath and put up drywall. So we're thinking actually shiplap ceiling, new fixtures, drywall, and mud and tape the walls.
And then
trim.
And then we're going to get rid of, you know what we call these light fixtures. You guys know what we're talking about.
You know what we're talking about.
You know what those light fixtures are called. Stop! Fire escapes. We need to have a plan for if there was a fire. Everyone needs to think about this.
I think the people need to understand.
There needs to be a way to escape the upper level of the house if your stairs are if you're unable to go down the stairs. Just like shown in the TV show This Is Us. But seriously, we need to have a plan of escape.
Yeah.
At my house,
P.S. Can we I just want to mention, I think everybody should know this, because
where we're going with this.
When Katie watched that episode where they left the toaster plugged in, was it a toaster?
Crock-pot, I think.
Crock-pot. Because Katie watched that episode for like a month, we had to unplug all of our
We should
stuff.
Go back. We should do that
Coffee
again.
makers.
We should start doing that again. Thank
toasters,
you for the reminder.
Because she thought that was going to happen to us. Now, I get being safe, but just because a TV show demonstrates a rare
demonstrated
case
a real life event,
an emergency, you think that we should do that. I rest my case.
Everyone. There's nothing wrong with being prepared.
This room is 3 stories up.
Exactly.
It is at the top of the house, and
we can't just jump out the window in this situation. So
we
I
need
was
a
going
rope
to
ladder.
say, that's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to go into our plans. I'm glad we talked about it.
Mom, this is it.
Do you want to tell the camera what you envision in your dream bedroom? A shiplap ceiling? Is that kind of your vision?
No idea what shiplap is, first of all.
Bunk beds.
From the mouths of babes. Essentially, we're going to renovate the entire thing. So walls are going to be gone. Carpet's going to go. Pretty much an entire renovation. So a little disclaimer here. This is not a how-to channel, and so we're not going to go through every single little step. If you're going to try this on your own, make sure you have, those tests being taken, lead, asbestos, that sort of thing. Know the era of your house, know when it was built, know what the building practices were at that time. So this is not how to. This is just for entertainment purposes only. let's examine what we got here. I noticed right away, this is rotted out a little bit, so if I can find an old board laying around here somewhere. I think this is an old chimney. And the reason I say that is because I see brick underneath. I don't know, there's probably potential for it to look pretty cool. Another thing I noticed is there's a metal chunk here. Have no idea why that's there. So we'll get to discover that together. This whole end right here where the roof line hits, all of this is going to be bunk bed. We're gonna go wall to wall with 4 bunk beds, stairs going up the middle. And so all of this out here will be exposed, so we'll have to fix it and make it look good. Everything over here will be underneath the bunk bed, so I may only just, take all the paint off from there to here, make my job a little bit easier. Part of me thinks I should go all the way to the wall because that means it's a job completed. You can tell they did some painting down here. I don't know, whoever was working did some spray painting up here. I think we made the right decision.
I just squashed a fly.
Okay, the moment has finally arrived. We've covered the floor just so that plaster doesn't get into the holes. And then we're gonna take down the old plaster. And the strategy will just be try to hammer at it with a hammer, obviously, and get it to come off as best we can. Window is open, I've sealed off the door, and the only thing left to do is to do it. And gotta have my tunes. Zip me in.
Hope this works. I had to duct tape a little hole, so I don't know what the rules are.
Oh, it'll work. Trust me. Oh, you know what I need? I need my hammer. Can you give me my hammer? Thank you. Alright, wish me luck. crazy part. As we are tearing off the lath and the plaster, we realize, or I realize, that we have no insulation on the exterior walls. Like, you can look in between the lath boards and it's no insulation. And I think that's pretty typical of the era where they didn't have insulation. And so we're really grateful, actually, believe it or not, that we opened up the walls. We decided to do that because now we can insulate it. And now we don't have to wonder anymore about why it was so chilly in there all the time. And being up here in the frozen tundra of Minnesota, it is a much needed addition to this project. And then it also makes you think about the people back in 1890 were tough as nails. My goodness. We also exposed that, speaking of heat, the chimney was all plastered over as well. I'm still working on getting that uncovered. It is very tedious, and so you'll see that in future videos. But we exposed the original brick, and so we're not quite sure how we're going to handle that yet, but we do know we want to see it. And so what'll be cool about that is seeing what we can do with that. Thank you for joining us on this episode. We really appreciate you. Thank you to all the new subscribers who have joined in on the journey. And we will see you guys on the next one.